ever felt stuck, unable to move past something scary or uncertain? You know that can feel absolutely paralyzing. My next guest, who has already been introduced, has been there. She's been sharing a plan that she says shook things up and helped her step into what's possible. My favorite backup dancer, Studio 5 contributor, and Back to Basics founder, Connie Sokol, is joining me. Okay, we got to get serious because this is a real topic, though. I think
it is.
I think a lot of women connect with this idea, and you're openly saying, yeah, I felt frustrated and stuck in certain moments during my life.
Absolutely, and I think it has a lot to do sometimes with those milestones, but different points in our lives. And I came to a period of life where there were things that I could not control, which there's lots you can't, but that I was having to deal with the fallout of, and I was just like, I've done everything I can do. Why can I not move forward? And then I noticed when I was talking to other women in my speaking assignments, they were saying things like, I didn't think it would be like this at my stage of life, or I thought that things would have turned out differently. And you could feel the sadness and this frustration or whatever. And I thought, there's got to be a way for us to deal with this.
Well, you hit on a huge buzzword for women, and that's control. We like to have our arms wrapped around our families and essentially the world, and there is a sadness that comes when you lose that control. And like you said, you're doing everything you can, and it's just not staying to scripts.
That's right. And so then it becomes about embracing. Once you can identify that, wow, I've done all I can do in this situation, which we could, endlessly, but it's all about how can I embrace that now? Because that's easy to say, but it's harder to do.
Especially in the moment. You say the worst thing you can do, perhaps, is to stuff it away and push it aside.
And I think we women are like stellar at that. Like we are at the fridge foraging.
Is that a compliment? We're good at that.
We are really good high achievers on that. Because I think sometimes it's just we think it's going to go away, or we kind of minimize it or whatever, but I think being able to own it and just be able to identify it and say, I'm going to say it out loud, even acknowledging it verbally and saying, I feel sad, lonely, depressed, whatever. Say it out loud, and then it doesn't look so big. And once you've owned that, there's a feeling that comes with that of breaking through this sort of weighty feeling and more of, okay, it's out there. I can put it on a chair and I can say, what do I do now? What am I going to do with it?
A couple months ago, I'll never forget, I was interviewing an addiction recovery counselor, and he said that's the most freeing thing for people who are struggling with addictions is if they can just say it out loud. It loses its power.
It loses its power. That is a perfect sentence. Then it's not so big. Now it's manageable. Now it's about solution finding. Oh, go ahead.
Well, there's a quote that you brought to our attention that I think perfectly summarizes this by Brene Brown, how owning our story can be hard, but in the end, it's not as difficult if you are able to just embrace it.
That's right. Otherwise, I love how she says we spend our lives running from it. What a waste of energy. So when we own it, then we can start focusing on solutions.
Women tend to, and I'll own it. I do this. I'll own it. We hang on to things when it's not working, right?
Yes.
We keep fighting for it, or we keep working toward it when it just in front of our eyes, we're seeing kind of the horse fall over, so to speak, and it's just not happening. Why do we do that?
I don't know. But we're also pretty good at that too. I don't know. Like you keep eating the same way and thinking at some point I'll lose weight. I don't know. I don't know.
I reference the horse because Amanda Dixon from KSL News Radio, she wrote a book a couple of years ago, and I remember I heard her,
Wake Up. Yes.
Here we are, connecting. I heard her speak one time, and she said, you can't beat a dead horse. And somebody raised their hand and said, how do you know the horse just isn't sleeping? Which is such a female mentality, right? Like, he'll wake up. Yeah.
That's right. We have eternal optimism, which serves us well. However, we have to be able to say, this is not working anymore. And once we identify something that isn't working, we can feel good about letting it go. I have a lady in my neighborhood who makes the most amazing bread, 12 grain. She's just like a pioneer woman. She's amazing. So I remember getting the recipe. She has a Bosch mixer. I have a Bosch mixer. It should be a good combination. It should work. But it was so busy, and I had little kids and then teenagers, and every time I'd see her, I go, oh, I haven't made that bread yet, but I will. And this guilt, right? Where did this come from? I remember one time she just went, Connie, it's not your stage of life. And I went, yes, Costco bread, here I come. I just release that expectation, and that's a great way for us to let go of what isn't working, is to release the unrealistic expectation.
That we often hold ourselves
That we hold ourselves to. And even if we're feeling pressure from someone else, we can look at that, put it on a chair again and say, is that working? Is it working for me? If not, let's let it go.
How do you know when to let it go? How have you found, because the timing can be hard to gauge.
I think when it becomes that stress factor, where like making bread, it's a good and wonderful thing, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to make bread. It doesn't mean I don't know how to make it. It just means that that stage of life, making bread 3 times a week is just not going to work in our lifestyle. The other day I had the neatest experience. I was looking around the house and I was realizing the phases that I'd gone through. My toll painting phase and my crafty phase and my, little hand sewing phase. And it was wonderful and I loved that I'd gone through them, but it hit me. I didn't have to stay there. We don't have to keep gathering and staying in all these phases, otherwise we can't keep up. And so it's wonderful to be able to say, love that phase, I'm in a different phase.
A great action you can take also is to reach for a life refresher. When you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling paralyzed, what does that look like?
Okay, I think this is so important, from small to big. So when you're in those stuck feelings, just do something to say, this will refresh my life, myself. So for example, my favorite go-to is new pillows for the living room couches. I don't know why.
I know.
But I don't have to change decor, but I can put some new throws, some new pillows, maybe a new rug.
Target, I have a new house.
Yes.
Just new pillows.
And you just feel, come on in, and it's so great. So something simple like that. And then you can do a big refresher where you say, I'm going to do a new workout class, or I'm going to actually go to a workout class, or I'm going to do one fun hobby that's just something I haven't done before. I'm going to think outside the box. I'm going to do something a little bit crazy.
You're jolting your routine.
You're jolting your routine and you're shaking it up just that by 2 degrees. Like and this. Man, yes, you just do your little, My kids will be scary, Mom. Very scary.
This definitely made our look back tape for sure. Great advice, Connie, and always the heartful, playful way. We appreciate it. What's coming up at Back to Basics?
Our promotion for Simplify and Savor this season. Are you ready? We're ready, and you got this. 3 steps. I do it every year. I love the season. $2.99 ebook on sale, and then with the print version, you get a free take-along planner. Put in your purse. You got it all set.
So the ebook, the planner, helps you simplify the season as we work through.
It's glorious. It's genius. It's glorious, and it's on ConnieSokol.com.
Okay, Connie will help you simplify and savor the season that's coming ahead. Thank you so much, my friend. We appreciate it. And hey, we want to hear from